The tale of satellites, technology that's out of this world. Look up, way, way up, beyond the clouds, beyond the airplanes, even higher than the tallest mountain. Look up at the night sky, twinkling stars everywhere. But guess what? Along with those stars, there are thousands of tiny human-made machines silently zooming around the Earth at thousands of kilometers per hour. These are satellites, Earth's invisible helpers in space, and a technology that's truly out of this world. What is a satellite? A satellite is like a super smart robot that orbits, circles, a planet. The moon is Earth's natural satellite, but humans have built artificial ones and launched them into space to do all kinds of amazing jobs. The dreamer who reached for the stars, Konstantin Tsiolkovsky. Once upon a time, in a little Russian village called Ijevskoye, a boy named Konstantin Tsiolkovsky was born on September 17, 1857. He was a curious child who loved tinkering with ideas, but life wasn't always easy. A serious illness, scarlet fever, left him partially deaf, and that meant he couldn't go to regular school like other kids. But did that stop him? Not at all. Konstantin became his own teacher. He spent hours in libraries, diving into science and math books. Later, he studied at the Moscow Technical School, where his imagination really took off. When he grew up, Konstantin became a math and physics teacher in a quiet town called Kaluga. By day, he taught students. By night, he dreamed of rockets, space travel, and worlds beyond Earth. His big achievements. In 1903, he wrote a paper that introduced the famous rocket equation, the key to how rockets fly into space. He imagined multi-stage rockets, just like the ones that later carried astronauts to the moon. He dreamed up space stations, airlocks, and even space elevators, long before they became part of real science. That's why today he is called the father of astronautics. Konstantin wasn't just a scientist, he was a visionary. He once said, "Earth is the cradle of humanity, but one cannot live in a cradle forever." He believed humans were destined to explore the universe. Fun and lesser-known facts. He loved writing science fiction stories to bring his space ideas to life. Even though he was a genius, he lived a very simple life in a small house. Many of his wild ideas, like life support systems in spaceships, turned out to be exactly what astronauts would one day need. On September 19, 1935, at the age of 78, Tsiolkovsky passed away. But his dreams lived on. Every rocket that launches today carries a spark of his imagination into the stars. The man who brought electricity to life, Alessandro Volta. Over 200 years ago, on a crisp day, February 18, 1745, a baby boy named Alessandro Volta was born in Como, Italy. Little did anyone know, this child would one day give the world something so important that his name still charges through our everyday lives. High voltage. As a boy, Alessandro wasn't the fastest learner. In fact, he didn't speak until he was almost 4 years old. But once he found his voice, he also found his passion, science. He studied at local schools and quickly fell in love with experiments, especially those involving electricity, which was still a great mystery in the 18th century. Career progression. Volta's brilliance shone early. By his late 20s, he had already invented a device called the electrophorus, which could generate static electricity again and again. Soon after, he became a professor of physics at the University of Pavia in Italy, where he taught and experimented for nearly 40 years. Big achievements. His most famous invention was the voltaic pile, 1800, the world's first true battery. It could produce a steady, reliable current of electricity, a total game changer for science and technology. Of course, satellites needed power and communication to work. Without batteries, satellites wouldn't even beep. This invention opened the door to countless discoveries, from electrochemistry to modern electronics. His contributions were so electrifying that the unit of electric potential, the volt, V, is named after him. Fun and lesser-known facts. Volta once shocked, literally, his friends by showing how electricity could make frogs' legs twitch, a discovery that inspired his famous rivalry with Luigi Galvani. Napoleon Bonaparte admired him so much that he made Volta a count after personally seeing his battery demonstration in Paris. Unlike many scientists of his time, Volta enjoyed recognition and honors during his lifetime, which was pretty rare. He loved nature and retired to a quiet life in his hometown, tending his garden when he wasn't experimenting. Demise. After a long and bright life, Alessandro Volta passed away on March 5, 1827, at the age of 82, in Como, Italy. His legacy still lives every time we charge a phone, switch on a light, or use anything powered by electricity. The space race, a race beyond the stars. Imagine two of the biggest kids on the playground, the United States and the Soviet Union, challenging each other to the ultimate race. But this wasn't about running faster or jumping higher. No, this was about something far bigger: who could conquer space first. The space race began in the late 1950s, during a time called the Cold War, when both nations wanted to prove they were smarter, stronger, and more advanced. First lap, the Soviets take the lead. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1, the world's very first artificial satellite. Beep, beep, it circled Earth and shocked the world. Soon after, in 1961, Soviet astronaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human in space, orbiting Earth with a smile. Second lap, America strikes back. The United States didn't want to be left behind. They worked harder, faster, and poured money into NASA, their space agency. President John F. Kennedy boldly declared, "We choose to go to the moon." The final lap, the moon landing. On July 20, 1969, America's Apollo 11 mission made history. Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon and said his famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." The US had won the space race, but in truth, all of humanity won, because the dream of exploring beyond Earth became real. Fun facts: the Soviets sent the first dog, Laika, the first woman, Valentina Tereshkova, and the first spacecraft to the moon. The space race gave us tons of technology we still use today, like better computers, satellites, and even the freeze-dried food astronauts eat. Although it started as a competition, the space race eventually encouraged international cooperation in space, leading to projects like the International Space Station, ISS. The legacy: what began as a rivalry became the launchpad for humankind's greatest adventure, the journey into the universe. And guess what? The race isn't over. Now, nations and private companies are competing to go back to the moon and even to Mars. How satellites work, the helpers in the sky. So how do these space gadgets actually work? Let's break it down. The parts of a satellite: think of it like a floating space superhero suit. Power system: solar panels, like a solar-powered backpack. These panels soak up sunlight and turn it into electricity. Brain: onboard computer, the control center that tells the satellite what to do. Eyes and ears: sensors and antennas, cameras, sensors, and big antennas that help satellites see and talk. Body: structure, strong but lightweight, it protects all the delicate parts inside. Thrusters: tiny rockets, these help the satellite adjust its position and stay in orbit. How does it work? Imagine satellites as cosmic messengers. They receive signals from Earth, boost them, and send them back down. For example, you use your phone right pointing arrow, your phone signal zooms up to the satellite right pointing arrow, the satellite beams it back to another place on Earth. All of this happens in seconds. What do satellites do? Satellites are like superheroes with different powers: communication, helping us make phone calls, watch TV, and use the internet across oceans. Navigation: GPS satellites guide airplanes, ships, and even your car to the nearest ice cream shop. Weather watching: satellites track clouds, storms, and climate changes. Science and space: they study stars, planets, and even black holes. Earth guardians: satellites monitor forests, oceans, and pollution to protect our planet. Fun facts: some satellites are smaller than a shoebox, while others are as big as a school bus. Without satellites, we'd have no GPS, slower internet, and much less weather forecasting. We'd be lost, disconnected, and possibly very wet in the rain. Modern satellites. Today, thousands of satellites orbit Earth. Some snap pictures of our planet. Some help ships, planes, and even your phone know where they are. Some warn us about hurricanes, while others spy. Satellites have even traveled to other planets. We now have satellites orbiting Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and even the Sun itself. Impact on the world. Satellites have changed life on Earth. They let us talk across oceans, predict wild weather, keep us from getting lost, and help scientists explore the universe. Some even say satellites help keep the world at peace, because it's hard to hide secrets when satellites are watching. The future. So what's next? Maybe satellites that build giant space solar panels, satellites that help humans colonize Mars, or even networks of satellites connecting the entire world with super-fast internet. From beach ball Sputniks to fleets of solar-powered giants, satellites prove that human imagination can reach the stars. Next time you see a little dot moving across the night sky, don't make a wish, it might just be a satellite saying hello. So, next time you send a text, check the weather, or follow your map app, remember to wave at the silent space helpers flying high above. They may be far away, but they're always working for us.